Everyone loves a good promotional period. Customers love it because they get a deal. Advertisers like it because promos help us hit our monthly and annual revenue targets across all of our campaigns. But a lot of times I see people kind of getting in a rut with how they start to utilize their promotional messaging in their ads accounts. And I just wanted to give some examples of some other ways that you can get your ad messaging into your Google Ads campaigns without always just putting them in there in the same way. Okay, for this video, we're just going to be in our placeholder Paid Media Pros account. So the good news is that we don't have to blur anything out. The first way to incorporate promotional messaging into your ad copy is pretty straightforward, and you're probably already doing it. It's just to add it into your responsive search ads. But there are a couple different ways you can do it. The first is to just come into your existing ads, click the edit pencil, and then to start adjusting all of your headlines and descriptions to incorporate some messaging. As you can see here, we actually had some promotional type messaging in a couple of these different headlines. Unfortunately, that 10% off no longer applies. This is for September 30th of 2023, not 2024. Sorry about that. But having the promos right in the headline and part of the rotation with the pinned asset is an easy way to get your promotional messaging into your ad copy. And you can see here, we just have it as a couple of different headlines, but you could have a few more variants, and you can also add it into the descriptions as well. No reason not to. We didn't in this case, but you could easily add that 10% messaging into your descriptions as well. Now, I mentioned there's a couple different ways that you would incorporate messaging into responsive search ads. This first one was effectively just editing the responsive search ads that you already have, but there's one hiccup with that. Every time you adjust the messaging in your responsive search ad, you're going to send all of your data back to zeros. It will always reset because you've changed the ad copy, and you'll have a completely different version of that ad. So all of these metrics will go back to zero. As a second option, what you could do is just create an additional responsive search ad, duplicate as much of the copy as you want, but then incorporate your ad promotions into that secondary ad variant and either leave the control active, so maybe you split traffic 50-50, or turn off any of the non-promotional messaging so that you have just one ad variant that potentially retains some of the messaging here, but also includes the promo messaging. You could then switch back to the control once that test period is over. Ideally, you would do something more similar to that rather than editing your existing copy, simply so you'll have a better historical set of data to look at and understand what copy produced what results. Now, the rest of the ways that we're going to talk about incorporating your promotions into your ad copy are going to live under the assets section because they're all going to be different ad extensions, which are now called ad assets, which I think is a terrible name, but that's where we are. We're going to continue using this single campaign, but you could associate this at the account level. One alternative to incorporating your messaging directly into responsive search ads and making new variants are actually a couple of the newer ad assets that I'm a really big fan of. Those are going to be this headline and description option that are here. Just for sake of keeping things short, let's look at just the headline option. We don't have any in the account because we don't use this account. So let's click the blue plus button here. And then what this field does is it allows you to write a new headline. We still get the 30 character limit. We still have the ability to pin it in a certain location, but this headline will be used across all of the campaigns that you've selected. I'm just using it for the lead generation course right now. But what happens is you get to write your messaging with the promotional ad copy in it. And then once I were to hit save, this headline would then start to rotate into the responsive search ads in the same way that the headlines that were a part of that responsive search ad would rotate in. Now you'll remember all of those headlines that I showed you were pinned in a certain location. So for this, I would need to pin it into whichever location I want it to show up in, and it will then rotate amongst the existing headlines and these new assets. Now I do have another video that walks you through all of the nitty-gritty details about the headlines and descriptions. So if you want to check that out, you can click on the video at the top of the screen right now. But the last thing I want to show you is just really quickly this advanced option here. You can actually schedule this asset to run only during a certain period of time. So if you only have a promotion now through, I don't know, September 30th, you could easily set an end date. That would be for September 30th, and they'll start immediately and turn off on that date. The next type of asset you can use is pretty simple. That's going to be the callout ad extension. And as you can see, We already did that in this account too. 10% off until October 1st. For whatever reason, we used a different date. Not entirely sure why, but a callout extension is just a short snippet of text that's added alongside the rest of your ad copy. Why not use some of that as promotional messaging in addition to all of the other benefits and features that you're trying to call out with your callout extensions? Another benefit here is you'll get to see all of the performance stats for how that ad performed when that promo message was shown. So you can see if it seemed to help or hurt or not have any impact on performance while that call out was shown. The next asset is going to be the price asset. Now we don't have any of these set up for this campaign or in this account. So let's go ahead and click the blue plus button, create a new one. And here we can start to incorporate a lot of the messaging that we want for our promo. So let's skip past most of this and just show how you can use it for the promotional message. In the header, you could easily say, save 10% through September 30th. It may or may not fit over in the preview on the side, but then you could also put the price over here on the side. Now you can see that you save 10%. You could put the promo price or you could put the actual full price, whichever seemed to make more sense to you. But just because this is a price extension doesn't mean that you can't use this header information or the description, which also has an additional 25 characters to incorporate promo messaging instead. Maybe something like this works a little bit better. Save 10% through September 30th. Personally, I think these price extensions stand out quite a bit compared to regular search ads and all of the different ad extensions that are in there. So why not use it to call out the different promotional periods that you have going on as well? As I mentioned, I'm not going to go through all the stuff on this page because Joe already has a video talking about that. You can check it out at the top of the screen right now. I just wanted to focus on how you can incorporate the promo messaging for this video. Speaking of promos, there is a promotion extension that also works. And when I say extension, I absolutely mean asset. And this one, we actually did create a promo asset for this. I just hovered over it and you can see all the information that's here. I'm going to go ahead and just click the pencil. We'll click edit. And now you can see the builder itself. You first get to select an occasion. So for ours, we didn't really have anything specific, but there are a ton of different options you can choose from here. And then again, you can choose the promotional type, whether it's a percent discount, monetary discount. But then these promo assets only give you 20 characters in the item section. And then you get to include whether you want a promo code, if there's just a minimum order value, or if there's no details associated with it. Then you also get to add in the different start and end dates and any of the different advanced options there. Now this one's a bit of a no-brainer. It's a promotion extension. It's used for promotions. But again, Joe has a video that will walk you through all of the details of setting these up. So if you want to look at that, you can check out the video at the top of the screen right now. Now the last type of asset that I want to talk about for this is one of the ones that people probably always use for regular campaigns, but I don't think they ever really pay attention to them for promotional campaigns. That's going to be a site link. Since we don't really run anything in this account, we don't have any site links here. But I've come across more and more clients that we work with that will have a dedicated page on their website that always shows the different promotions that they're having. So let's go ahead and click the plus button here. And then you can fill out the text just the same way you would as any other site link. You get 25 characters for the headline, 35 for description lines 1 and 2. And then down below, you have a field for the final URL. So in this example, for this specific use case, it might look something like this. Now for this, you can see that Google hates that I used example.com because that's not a real website. But you can kind of understand what we're going for here. If you have a page on your site that always has the regular sale items or promotional events listed on there, or even if you develop a new page every month or every week, or just for every promotional period that you have, it's easy to create a site link that can also lean into that promotional messaging. This could be for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, maybe you have a Memorial Day sale, maybe an anniversary sale, whatever it is, you can easily incorporate that messaging and the actual promotion into the copy if you have the details, and then land the user directly on the page that would take them to those promotional sales. And that's pretty much it. Running promotions in Google Ads doesn't have to be rocket science, and maybe some of these seemed obvious to you, but hopefully I also introduced you to some other ideas about areas where you can put promotional messaging into text in your Google Ads without just relying on having them in the headlines and descriptions or only the promotional ad asset within the campaigns. If you have any additional questions about running promotions through Google Ads campaigns or anything else in the Google Ads accounts, feel free to leave us a note in the comments below. Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below. If you really liked it, maybe think about subscribing to the Paid Media Pros YouTube channel and you'll get alerted every time a new video drops.
If you really liked it, you can help support the channel by checking out some of the t-shirts that we're wearing on our merch shelf, as well as looking at the Super Thanks button.